Alright guys, this is Jacob from Wedge Me This, and I'm going to do the second part of the 10 sevens on the 3-point Molly. I got $1,000 here, and so the way I'm going to start it is I'm going to do it just like my toolbox. I think it's better if you use it like a come progression, okay? And you just go to 3 points, and you see where you're at after that, all right? Then you roll it out. It's still a bad strategy no matter how you look at it, in my opinion. So let's see what happens. And there's the 8. Okay, so I'm going to drop our 30 in odds. Then we're going to go to 30 here. So we're going to double the flat. The odds, we're just going to risk the odds. And there's the 6. Okay, so let's go 30 in odds. I know people are going to be like, oh, you should play minimum. But we're using this to cover some of the 7. All right, so then we're going to go to 60. So I'm just doubling the flat. And the hits you do make will pay better, so they'll outweigh some of the other stuff. All right, so there's the 6. So it's going to pay 30 and 36. Okay, so there's 30. 35, 36. Okay. This is going to go up to 60. We're going to put our 30 on it. And I know people are going to be like, oh, you're never supposed to do that. Da, 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 da. It's odds. Well, you shouldn't be playing the odds anyway. All right, so what do we have there? 60. So we're going to go to 120. And I know this sounds crazy, but the reason I'm doing this is because you just made one hit. So this 120 now covers basically everything against the 7. And what we have, a 10, okay, 120. You obviously don't have to put odds on it, but we will. All right, so now you have your 3 points. I know they're more expensive, but if you hit one of them, you're back good. So it's still the 3-point Molly. It's still a hard strategy to play. It's still not good, but at least this way you mitigated the early 7 outs. And there's an 8, so we hit our point. Perfect. And I know a lot of people are not going to like this because it is risky. But the strategy, I'm telling you guys, this strategy is not, it's risky on its own. All right, so we've won 60 something dollars on the 6. And now we just won another basically $60. So right now, we're looking at, we have already paid for this bet. All right, so we're only really having to cover this bet. So let's just go to 60 on this come out roll. And so these are the things you need to be paying attention to. Oh, of course. Why wouldn't it be a 12? That's off. Okay, now I'm not going to chase it because I'm hoping to hit one of my numbers out there if I can, because remember, everything's working. And there's the 5, 3, 2, 5, 30 in odds. And I know it sounds crazy to do it this way, but it's going to mitigate your losses more. And by mitigating your losses, that means you're going to have more chances to win, which in turn means that you're going to make more money. All right, there's a 6 for 60 and 36. Okay, so now we're going to evaluate how much should we be putting out there. Okay, so we got 60, 120. We got about 200 bucks out there. So, we want to get at least 150 out there. 100, 150. Because if the 7 comes here, we want to get paid on it. 5, 2, 7. Okay. 150. And ta-da! After all that mess, we are up, 70 bucks. Next round, start back over at 15. And you could keep going with this, but you'd want to be paying attention, really paying attention, doing the math as you're going, to knowing what kind of combats you got to put out there to help you with your losses. Okay, so like right here, that's why you don't have to, you just have to double the flat. And the reason I say that is because you're going to win 30 there, and you're going to lose, so you're only going to lose 15. It's not that you're going to stop yourself from losing, you're just not going to lose as bad. Okay, perfect example. It's going to pay there, and you're going to lose this one unit instead of you losing multiple units. Same thing, here we go, start over. Of course, 3. I don't know what the deal with the horn numbers is. Like, I've got a ton of them. Just a ridiculous amount of horn numbers. And there's another 3. I mean, it's hard for me to show strategies that aren't horn strategies. You just constantly roll horn numbers. And there's a 4. I thought that was going to be another one, but I saw that 1. All right, so there's a 4. Put our 30 back there. Put our 30 in the come. Here we go. And we back to back to our 4. What a deal. Okay. It's going to win 30 and 60. So remember, you just won $60. Really, you won $75. Right? And you have 30 out there, plus another 30 in the odds you're going to put on it. So you won more than you've lost here. So there's really, you don't even have to go up on this one. But we're gonna bump it all the way up to 60, because that's double that flat out there. And that's, so now we're looking, if we roll a 7, awesome. And there's that 7. All right, so this is going to lose, but it's going to pay right here. 60 and 60. We're going to take it back down. All right, it's bound to 15. And that's the idea behind it. That's why you want to boost those combats up, as opposed to keep playing them flat, because then you're going to get smacked each time it goes 2 and 3 rolls. All right, there's a come out 7. And that's one thing you're trying to avoid. Now, once you get the mully set, you're just at the mercy of the 7 then. You could do some hopping or something like that, but the truth is, it's just a bad situation. The strategy itself is not my favorite strategy. It's not a strategy I like. All right, so we're going to go to 30 in the cup. And there's the 7, all right? So we're going to lose this. This is going to pay there. So again, it's just mitigation of losses. We're not trying to win it all back. We're just not trying to lose it all. Here we go. A 4. Okay. Go to 30. And we have a 6, all right. 4, 2, 6. 30 in odds. We're going to go to 60. Here we go. And a 10. Okay, so now this is the spot where you're just at the mercy of what's going to happen is going to happen. It is the 3-point molly. This is the dangerous part of it. All right. If you're not repeating numbers, which we did there, we got a 10 right back. Okay. So that's 60 and 60. It's going to be 120. We'll put the 60 there. We don't have to though, because we just won 120. So we can take that back down to 30, because we won 120. So we don't have to have all that exposure. And there's the 6, perfect. 30 and 36. Gonna come down. All right, so now we just won again, so we can stay at the $30 level. Once you get some wins rolling in, you know, you want $120 and now two $60. I mean, you're doing well. There's no reason to keep going up. And we have a 6-5 yo. That's a $30 yo. And we have a 1, 2, 3. So it's a loss. Easy come, easy go. Here we go. And the 6, perfect. It's gonna be 30 there, 36 there. Put that up there. And now, same thing, we only have to go 30 because we've made a bunch of money on this shot. There's no reason to keep going up. Mitigating $30 worth of 7. And we got the 3. Man, I cannot stay away from those 3s. What is going on with that? Here we go. And the 9, okay. Six, 6, 12. Aces. What is it? What with these horn numbers? Craziness. 6, 2, 8. We don't have one. That's a hole. But this way of playing the 3-point Molly, it's going to win more often than the other way. Because the other way is too vanilla. It doesn't help you as you're building up the Molly. It doesn't help you mitigate none of the risk. Not like you'd think. Even though there's a 7, even though you are playing the 7 for a little bit, it's just not enough to matter. Whereas this way, you mitigate the risk all the way to the end of it. That way, you're putting yourself in a position to where if you do roll a 7 on the 5th roll, you're good. And there's a come out 11, another horn number. Horn craziness. And there's a 7, okay. Still, we're ahead by, I don't know, 70 bucks. And an 8. All right, we finally got a point. $30. So we're going to start our progression again. We jump up to 30. And we have a 6, 33. 30 on that. Then we're going to go to 60. And there's the 9. These we have 6, 8, 9. Be nice to hit one of them. If we hit one of them, we're in good shape. Now, if we miss all the way around, it's a rough run. And there's that 6. Okay. So now we're going to be able to drop back down to 30 because we made this win. So we don't have to cover as much of the exposure. We can just cover just $30 worth and we're still in good shape. $516. 628. Okay. Point made. Okay. In this case, we're gonna go up to 30 because we're covering exposure there, and you could go higher because that was a cheaper hit. So maybe in this case you want to go to 60, and it makes plenty of sense. You got 60 on the 7. Because remember, we're working that up there. There's no reason to have those off. We earned that. And there's the 6. Perfect. Okay. It's going to win. So to come down, we're going to put our $30 back here. And we're going to go to 30 here because we just won. There's no reason to go up. All right, here we go. And we have a 9. All right, perfect. Okay, so we got 60 and 30. So that's going to be 60 flat and 45 on top. Let's drop 30 on that 9. And we'll leave 30 right here. And here we go. Now we're recycling the 3-point molly at higher denominations, covering ourselves on the 7. We're doing everything at once here without hopping, without don't bets. We're just using the come. We're just using the mechanism that the molly uses to manipulate what we're trying to do. 3-1-4 back to back. And now obviously this is a good roll, but this is a good example of how this works, why this works. And this is for the don't guy, I mean for the odds guys. Guys, honestly, I don't play odds. It's not my game. It doesn't make sense to me, so I don't do it. But obviously, like in this situation, it's working. 4-1-5, but this is a long roll, so the place bettors would be hitting all these numbers and pressing up and stuff. So it's not as effective as place betting. But again, I'm just trying to show how strategies like this can work. All right, there is ways to make them work. It just takes a little effort. 30 and 45. And so like when you get to here, you got same exposure everywhere. Maybe you bump this one up to 60 just to cover on the 7. And the reason behind this is because it's went a long time without a 7. So, I mean, you're getting toward that spot where you should be seeing a 7. And we got 6-2-8. Okay. Remember, we've won plenty of money, so exposure here, we're way past exposure problems. So now we're just trying to win. 4-1-5, 30, 45. Okay. Put the 60 there. Re-roll. And a 9. Okay. 30 in odds. 6, 8, 9 again. And there's the 8. Perfect. $60 and 36. So this time let's bump it up to 90. All right, we should be getting close to the 7. We're going to take a little more risks. And this is the kind of thing you should do if you're winning. When you're winning, try to play a little bigger. Still play the same mechanism, and there's that 7. Still play the same mechanism, just grow it. 90. Okay, so it looks like we lost a lot, but remember, we had 6, 7 hits in there. So we didn't lose anything. We made money on that shooter. And then we got this $90 at the end. Okay. Start over at $15. And there's aces, of course. Here we go. And there's a 9. 639, $30 in odds. $30 up here. And we have a 7. So there's an early 7. We'll lose there. This is going to pay there. We just lost a little bit. No big deal. All right, we're down to our last roll here. Here we go. And we got to come out 8, 5, 3. That was not a 7, guys. That was an 8. $30 winner. And all I'm doing here, guys, is using the come progression. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, I'm just keeping a kind of a tally in my head of what I've won to know what I have to be risking to cover exposure. That's all I'm doing. All right, hard 4, 30 in odds. Okay, so now in this shooter, I haven't won anything yet. So what do I have exposed? 90, $105. So that's why I'm going to 60. I'm covering half of that. So yeah, if I roll a 7 here, it isn't perfect, but it's also not terrible. And there's our 7. So that 6 is going to pay there. You're going to lose this. All right, so let's see what happened. Okay. There's 500. There's our buy-in. So 500 and so $549. I mean, and all we did was use the come progression with the 3-point molly. We just bumped them come bets up a little bit as we were going to mitigate that exposure. We did have one good roll in there, but even if we wouldn't have had that good roll in it, it would have went shorter than that. As long as you're getting a couple hits in there, which you're going to get some hits, but having that comeback bigger, not just always at $15. See, the problem is when it's just always $15, but your exposure out here keeps growing, then it's not doing anything. So that's why you bump that up. You bump it up. You bump it up. You're covering more of the 7. And obviously you're going to have some losers and winners in there, but it's going to work out more often than the normal 3-point molly. It's just the mechanics of it. It's probability, it's payouts, it's everything is built into that. The risk is not actually that much different because you're buying the 7 every time. Basically, you're buying the 7. Now, if you get 3 points out there and then the roll 7, that's the biggest hole in the strategy. So there you go. Anyways, guys, this is the second part of the 10 sevens of the 3-point molly. I hope you guys liked the video. This is Jacob from Wager Me This, and you guys have a great day.